That beat going crazy.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the VFR 400 restoration. So today I am hoping to be able to do a compression test. I've been waiting for a couple of parts and I've received them now, so I'm going to show you what parts I got, what I'm planning to do. Also, I made a big mistake and luckily I caught it in time, so I actually unfortunately have to redo some of the work that I did, but it's a good thing that I caught it in time, and I'll show this to you guys as well. Hopefully that'll help somebody who doesn't fall into the same mistakes that I did. All right guys, so you might remember we've been working on this. We put the cams on the last time I was here. We put these cams on, everything is ready to go. We had done the clearances, and pretty much all of the clearances are all out. They're all too tight. I expected that since I had ground down the valves, and also I had put the shims back in different places, not in the original places, so everything's sort of out of whack. I did order a shim kit, so I've received that. I'll show you guys. So these are the shims that we took out and what order they came out of. Remember, I did the calculations. I showed you guys my spreadsheet that I did, so we can see on the left here is what the shim sizes should be in cylinder 1 intakes, exhaust, cylinder 2, cylinder 3, cylinder 4, etc. So these are the sizes that we need to put into those corresponding places. So I received this shim kit here, which has various sizes on it, as you can see. So I do have enough sizes. I've got loads here, and I've still got some of the existing that can be used in different places. So I've got enough shims to do everything, which was the last thing I needed so that I could do the compression test. Also, the issue that I've got here is that when I put the new valve seals in, or the valve seat seals, I mixed up the inlet and exhaust ones. So apparently on this engine and some engines, the intake and the exhaust seals are different. So I didn't notice that. I kind of noticed when I was looking at the manufacturer's parts website, and I noticed that the intake and the exhaust seals had different part numbers, and I did sort of think at the time when I had bought the kit that they looked like they were two different colors. I'll see if I can show you guys here. The light is not great, but if you look in this kit here, I had to buy a new kit, by the way. You might notice there are some that have a silver ring around them and some that have a black one, so they're sort of like a sort of darkish green color, and the others are a little bit more to the black or very dark green, and they have a black ring around them. So I reached out to the manufacturer that I bought these from, and after confirming, they said that the green ones with the silver ring around them should go on the intake, and the other ones should go on the exhaust. Now I just sort of banged them in, so some of them might be in the right place and some of them aren't. So what I'm going to have to do is I need to check every single one of them, and if it's in the wrong place or the wrong one's in the wrong size, I need to replace it. So unfortunately that means I've got to take the cams off again, and then I could have to take the whole head off to get each valve out. But what I've done instead of, which should hopefully work, is I got one of these tools. So this tool should allow me to take out those seats without removing the whole head. So yeah, I'll try and show you how I'm going to do that. Hopefully it works. If it works, it's going to save me a bit of time, but it's still going to take me a bit of time. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to take these cams off again, and then I'll try and see if I can get one of them off, and then I'll show you guys how to do it. Hi guys, so back again. This is the next day. So yesterday was absolute nightmare. So I had to replace all those seals, which took me forever. I tried to use that punching tool and I just wasn't happy with it. It was just not easy, and I was just really weary about damaging any of the valves and stuff. So I just went back to taking the heads off, stripping all those seals, replacing them all with the correct ones, the inlet ones and the inlet side, the exhaust ones and the exhaust side, putting everything back together, doing all the shims and everything. So I was here for hours last night in the garage and I managed to do it. So now I'm back. Well, I actually finished it this morning, so I'm back on it now. I think I've got everything back together. I'm going to go through and check the tolerances on all of the valves, just to make sure. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to put some oil in this, and I think we're going to try and do some compression testing. So guys, this is where we're at. This is the bike. So I've got these cams all back in, timed up perfectly. These are all timed up as well. I hope they're timed up perfectly. Everything's spinning fine anyway. I have sort of checked the valves as I've been installing the shims, but now I'm going to go through and I'm going to check all of the valves. And then once I'm happy with everything, then I'm going to hook up a battery to this, and I'm going to start doing some compression testing. So I'm using the service manual. So we got our valve clearances, tells you how to check and adjust, etc. So we're going to just follow the order. In the order of the book, it starts on cylinder 1, then it goes to cylinder 3, so it sort of does 1 and 3, and then it does 4 and 2. So we're going to follow that. So to do cylinder 1, we are looking for T1 mark. So that is, you can see T1 here. We need to line it up with that mark here. And also we need to make sure that the camshafts on the rear are facing away from the head. So this is the rear, this is the front. So these are the marks here. These little marks, there's one here and the other one's here. We need to make sure they're facing away from the head. So this is the head here, so they need to be facing that way. Basically they need to line up with this little straight line here, each of them. So I'm just going to rotate that to T1 here and line these up here. Right, so our T1 is lined up, and also these are also lined up as well. So now that is cylinder 1 is at top dead center, and now I can check the intake gaps and the exhaust gap. So the intake ones are at the top, the exhaust ones are at the bottom. Intakes, we're looking anywhere between 0.12 I believe and 0.18. Actually, we can double check the specifications in here. So you've got valve clearances here. Cold engine inlet valves, we're looking at between 0.12 and 0.18. Exhausts are 0.21 and 0.27. Right, so this is our cylinder 1. This is our inlets, and I've already checked that. 0.13 is probably the best fit I have here. I've got 0.13 and then 0.15. 0.15 gets a bit tight, so it's more likely somewhere between sort of like 0.14, so that's fine. The exhausts, we're looking at between 0.21 and 0.27, so I'm going to go for a 0.25. Start with that and see. 0.25, that's perfect. Bit tight on this one, perfect on this one, bit tight on this one. So we'll try next size down, 0.23. So trying a 0.23, and that's a nice fit. So that is between 0.21 and 0.27. So cylinder A, our 4 valves are all good. To do cylinder 3, which is the one next to it, we're looking for T1 mark again. So we're going to do a 360, and that should line up. These marks should line up facing the engine, so they're going to do about a 180 facing downwards. All right, so there we go with T1 again, and now these marks here are facing down, facing the head. So here's our exhaust valves. We've got 0.23 here, and we've also got 0.23 here, so that's good. So on our inlets, we've got 0.13 again as well. 0.13. So now we can move now on to our cylinders 2 and cylinders 4. So to do that, we're going now with the T2 at its mark, and we'll do the same thing where the lines point upwards for one cylinder and then rotate it 360 until the lines are pointing down, and we do the next cylinder. Right, so lines are pointing towards the cylinder head and we're at the T2 mark. That's the settings for cylinder number 2. So I'm going to measure cylinder 2, then I'll rotate these up to here, and then we'll do cylinder number 4. So our exhaust valves are clearing 0.23, nice, so that's good. And our inlets are 0.15, which is pretty much bang in the middle of where they should be. All right, on to the next one. So this is the last ones now. So here's our inlet at 0.13, just like the others. And the other inlet one here, 0.13 as well. And lastly, our exhaust ones, 0.25 and 0.25. Perfect. So it looks like we've done all the valve clearances, everything is in spec. So now let's do some compression tests. Okay guys, it's the first time this is gonna have some power to it since it's been stripped, and from the day I received it, the old rusty motor. So what I've done is I've set up my jump starter. So I'll put this on here for the ground, and I'm just gonna put it on the starter. Alright, looks like everything's moving good. I also oiled up all these cams as well, and I put some oil in the engine. Right, so I think guys, we are ready to go. So we're gonna start compression testing. Obviously we're gonna compare these. I'm gonna put some clips of the video when I first did the compression test, and then we can review what the changes are. So we go for cylinder 1, we're gonna go in order 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's more like 95. Okay, so we have about 130 psi. So we've got 130 for our first one. So now we're going on to cylinder number 2. This one straight away I'm at 120. So we have 125 spot on, so quite similar to the first one, which is good. So on to number 3. $135. So it looks like we've got 130 on that piston as well. That one that was looking a bit rusty, that valve, actually got 110, which I'm really surprised. This is the tricky one, because keep tilting the engine every time I'm pushing it. So I'm gonna move it here. I can brace it here. Right, let's go for the last one. Okay, so this is the last reading, which is 120. 120, so we've got between 120 and 130. So really happy that they're all quite close to each other, and they're all way over 100. So guys, that is it. Our engine is getting good compression. I think I'm happy with it as it is. Now I think, yeah, I can get these cam covers back on, and I'm pretty confident. I think I'll probably try and run the engine on the bench. I can connect up the wiring loom. We can get spark, which we did get before, put some spark plugs in it, and then I might just start it up with some carb cleaner or something like that and see if we can get it to start. And if we get it to start and it sounds good, then we're ready to put this back into the frame. So guys, happy days. This is it, my first engine rebuild. Well, as much of it as I rebuilt anyway. I'm quite happy with what I've achieved on it for my first time doing something like this. I'm just happy that we're getting decent compression, and I think I've saved this engine. And now I'm really excited to start putting this thing back together now that we've got the heart of it all rebuilt. So yeah guys, let me know what you think of this video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.